Hey, it's your girl Latonia Monroe Naylor, your Mission Rich business consultant, here with another Tea and Talk Tuesday with Latonia. Yes, it is Saturday. We'll talk about that in a few. However, I just want to say welcome and I want to ask you a real tough question. How much are you willing to lose? That is what we're going to talk about over the next few minutes. But before we jump in, I just want to remind you, if you haven't already, that your copy of Mission Rich and Profit Power, a guide to transforming your passion into a fully funded business. Yes, you will not be disappointed. We'll give you a lot of great information, also help you to better understand what does it really mean to be mission rich in this world today, and how can you still have a profitable business, whether it's for profit or nonprofit. And so, with that being said, we're going to jump into our topic today, which, like I said, how much are you willing to lose? So, I was in a conversation a couple of weeks ago with someone, and we're looking to expand in one of the businesses that I co founded. And we're asking these questions about, like, how can we scale? How can we improve our operations, do it at a higher level, and really get ourselves in a position to really max and really go into the next level of income and revenue, right? And so as we're having the conversations with the executive staff, we start to talk about, okay, who can we bring in? So there's this woman that I met out of Atlanta, and we had a call with her. It was a great call. And at the end of the call, she asked me a question, the same question I'm asking you on tonight. How much are you willing to lose? Except she didn't phrase it to me like that. She said, how much is it going to cost you if you do not add someone to be able to help you with these problems that you've identified? And when we sat down and had the conversation and really combed through how much money we would likely lose, it was about $1 million. So, no, I wasn't going to lose funding that I had already. But what was going to happen is that I was not going to be able to access additional revenue sources. I wasn't going to have the time to be able to identify and submit applications for, contracts or grants or whatever things that I would have wanted to apply for. And so when I started to look at what that opportunity cost was going to be in that gap, that opportunity gap, I was like, wow, it's going to cost us about $1 million. So I'm going to ask you that question. Like, what is it costing you? A lot of times, people look at this. There's a saying, right? And the saying is that there's three types of people in the world: those people who watch things happen, those people who wonder what happened, and those people who make things happen, right? But what people don't pay attention to with that saying is that the people that make things happen do not do it on their own. When we are learning how to operate in business, when we're learning to get into business, we have this mindset that we have to figure it out, that we have to pull ourselves up at our bootstraps, or whatever saying that people have told you throughout the decades as to this is the best way and the only way that you can really have a productive business or really be able to generate and build wealth. But if you really look at the people who are wealthiest in this world, they are not doing it alone. They have professionals, they have experts, they have people that work with them to help them to carry out the vision that they have and ensuring that they're able to do it at an excellent level. Now, obviously, if you're not a billionaire, you don't have the same level of access to resources. However, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, you have access to resources at whatever level to be able to level up to the next, right? And you have to have the right people on your team. And so you not having the right people on your team is causing you to have an opportunity cost. And I want you to ask yourself, what is it? I want you to sit down and I want you to ask yourself, what is it costing me because I am not willing to invest in myself? I'm not willing to take care of myself. I'm not willing to invest in my business by bringing in people that can help me. I'm not willing to invest in books. I'm not willing to invest time to learn. All of these things, if you're not willing to do it, to invest, because time is money and money is time. If you're not willing to invest your time or your money, then your business is not going to grow, is not going to prosper. There is no way in the world that you're going to be able to do it all on your own. It's just not possible. I was at a conference recently, and I think I might have shared this in an earlier episode, that I was at a conference and several folks said, I mean, these are people who are multimillionaires. Several of them said the cheat code to being successful is having a coach, having a consultant, having someone who's been there, who's done it, that can teach you how to do it. so that you're fast tracked right to the top, like right to where you need to be, because they're able to tell you all the things that they did wrong, the things that they did right, and you're able to ascertain what works for you, right? So ask yourself, write it down, sit down. If you're not taking the time to sit down and do a real thorough audit of what you're doing, what you want to do, if you're not really taking the time to sit down and do a thorough audit of what your mission is, what your vision is, what you plan to accomplish, the way that you document things now may not be the way you documented them before. In the beginning, when I first started my businesses, I was writing everything down in Word. I was taking notes and put it in my iNotes or whatever, Apple Notes, whatever it's called. And that's the way I track things. I did it on pieces of paper and all of that. And so as I elevated, I got an iPad, because iPad was allowing me to go in and categorize everything, got my pen and I could write things down. I use the OneNote and all of that good stuff to help keep track of things when I go places. So everything is in one place, so I can find it easily and remember what I learned, remember what things I wanted to make sure that I didn't forget. And then I stepped up to getting different apps, right? Like QuickBooks app, because I want to be able to track my mileage better, want to be able to see my expenses better, want to have a better eye on what's happening and not just rely on my bookkeeper or my CPA to take care of that kind of stuff. And then I also started looking at, okay, yes, I have these Word docs where I have, my strategy for next year, and I document what I want to do for each month, and, what my personal life is, and the things that I have to tend to with my children and with my family, and my work obligations, or right, my conferences I might have to go to, and things of that nature, places I have to speak at, whatever the case may be, right? I have to have that documented on my calendar. But then what I learned in recent months is that I had to step it up even more, because having those things written is very important. Because if you don't write the vision and make it plain, you're not going to be able to act on it. But then how I do that had to shift even yet again, because of where I want to go and the scale that I want to operate on. So I invested in a software called Trello. They have a lot of different other boards that are similar, Monday app, ClickUp, just different ones that people can utilize. Some people like Google Sheets or whatever, just doing it that way. But for me, I needed to have something that I could easily interact with my independent contractors, with my employees, with my team, and easier for me to be able to see what's happening with my clients. Like, I had to have something that helped me to be able to do that at this level, right? Because what is it going to cost me if I am trying to do things a way that I used to do it, because I'm not willing to spend some money to invest in the work that I'm doing, right? So I want you to ask yourself that question. I want you to keep asking yourself that question. This is the end of 2024. I do not want you to go into 2025 without a plan. I do not want you to go into 2025 trying to do it the same way you did it at the beginning of 2024. I don't want you to look at your vision board or whatever your resolutions or whatever you made in January and like, you know what? Yeah, I didn't accomplish any of those. Like, that is not a good feeling. So going into 2025, what are you going to do differently? Write it down. What are you going to do differently that you did not do this year, as to why you didn't accomplish some of the goals that you planned to accomplish? And what did you miss out on? How much money did you lose because you didn't act on certain things that you knew that you should have done, that you should have acted on? I have a lot of people that reach out to me and they say, "Oh, I should have signed up for your class, and I could have had this opportunity, or I should have signed up to get consulted from you, and I would have had this opportunity. Oh, I see what you did with so and so. I really want that to happen for me." But then they don't respond. They don't follow through. Don't let that be you in 2025. Look at the cost, count it up. There's a scripture that says, which of you intending to build a house doesn't sit down first and count up the cost? Count up the cost of what it is that you need to do, where you want to go, and what is it costing you because you are not willing to invest. I don't want to answer that for you, but I guarantee you your number is pretty high. I guarantee you your number is pretty high. And if you start to look at that number, you're going to say to yourself, what things could I do differently if I had this number in my bank account? What kind of schooling could I provide for my children? What kind of extracurriculars could I get engaged in with my family? What kind of vacation or business trip could I take? What kind of conferences could I go to that I'm not already, what kind of memberships could I partake in so that it could continue to expand what I need to be doing and what I need to have access to? What kind of staff do I need to add to my team that currently I can't afford, but I know if I add this person or this kind of support, then it's going to expand what I'm capable of doing. Most people are not even having that mindset because they're so caught up in the hustle and bustle, and they're not even sitting down thinking about what the what ifs can be and how we're going to get there and how the strategy is going to be leveled out. But I'm encouraging you on today to take the time to sit down, to write it down, to make it plain. Don't beat yourself up. Don't get frustrated and depressed with yourself. Just use the frustration that might feel like it's creeping in. Take it and transform that into purpose. That you are not going to end up in 2025 the way that you're ending up in 2024. And I'm telling you, I'm the first one to raise my hand. There are opportunities that I should have had or things that I should have been able to do, but for procrastinating every now and again, getting myself overextended at times, not jumping on something when I should have, and then realizing later, man, I wish I would have did that because that would have really helped me out in this point. But there are a lot of things that I did right, and there's a lot of times when I heard that voice speaking to me, and I moved quickly, and I saw the results. When I had the right person in my vicinity, and I saw the opportunity, and I took it, and I've seen increase because of that. And so I want to encourage you on today. We're getting ready to depart from you for this evening, but definitely count up the cost, write it down, and use that to continue to build. If you would like more information on how you can work with me and talk more about this, get a discovery call with me so we can talk about what your plans are and how you plan to move forward, how you plan to expand, to increase, how you plan to have some sustainability, less stress, then we are going to make it available for you to reach out. Please direct message me or comment in the comments below. I'm ready, and we will make sure that we get in touch with you so that we can set up that call. Also, you can go to my website, which I'm super excited. It's going to be updated. 2.0 is coming in February. Yes, February is my birthday month, and we are going to have some fabulous stuff going on for February. And if you have not already, we know that the Mission Rich Academy has started. So Mission Rich Academy 2.0 is coming. It is going to be all the way live. So I'm going to check out because y'all know I can go. But I want y'all to have a good night and make sure that you remember what I said. All right. Talk to you later. God bless.